pushing like crazy, and just hope it sticks. Just hope the car just is compliant in what you want it to do. If the car also feels compliant and confident in your abilities behind the wheel, and that is very much the case of how things have been. There's Robin DeVos just up ahead.
So we should be live now, query, with flying. Flying Jank. If we are fortunate, it has saved everything to actually work, but we will just confirm here in a mo. Things haven't exactly been going great for me today, but should be in here now, and indeed we have track IR today, so it's great. We will leave this free flight and try and do some career stuff. Hopefully we have a bit more of a success here. It seems to be just slightly buggy still, but there was an update like before I did this, so yeah, we'll see. We will see for sure. We don't have the most now. I have no idea what like checking that does, but I want to try and maybe do this instead. So let's see if we can't do a bit more of a longer flight here. We can't do the skydiving. It's the plane transportation. And we are working track IR, even though I have to use a different streaming platform than OBS, because OBS for some reason doesn't like this game at all. But we are flying from Udern to Uderd. Mr. Kimek, who sent his precious plane away for maintenance, is now eagerly awaiting it getting flown back near Neumarken Drohn. And careful, his client is very picky about his bird. Oi oi. Can't bay it's a Saturday, come on now. Well, I suppose Saturday is the one day that you can be picky about your bird, if you know what I mean. Know what I mean? Wink wink, nudge nudge. But hopefully this goes so much better than the race did earlier, which in fairness didn't happen at all. And there we are doing a checklist. We should not have any terrible voice acting here, so that'll be great. At least I hope we won't. We shouldn't, because there will be no passengers, which is my main motivation of going away from those first flight missions. But you also need to start utilising my buttons and whatnot that I can press a bit more than I am. For obvious reasons, it just makes life easier, although I am considering getting a new joystick, but we'll get to that at some point. So here is the beautiful Cessna, the plane that we have flown before, and we do the San Andreas walk to the plane. Excellent. So into the plane we go.
TOS system test. Okay.
Hello, it's Julia Reichert. Thanks for accepting the job. I'm your contact here. Today's lucky bird heading to Nijmegen is this charming little 172 Skyhawk. The owner's aircraft was in for maintenance, and now that it's fixed, he wants it flown back. He is already waiting for it. His name's Mr. Michael Klimek. Now give this beautiful bird the VIP treatment it deserves.
Oh, this
Take
bird deserves
care.
a VIP treatment, alright.
Echo Delta Romeo Mike traffic Cessna
Big
Delta.
taxi.
Hotel Whiskey
Massive
X-ray
taxiway
Echoes,
right here. I
taxiing to
don't know if we're
runway
going to do
36.
this on time. Although, there are gliders over here. We are like taking off from a glider field. Oh, sure.
Echo Delta Romeo Mike traffic Cessna Delta. Hotel Whiskey X-ray Echo taking off runway 36 south departure.
So I must be at like the top of the runway here. Nope. Taking off south. Apparently we're going south now, but we're not doing that great. Love this. I guess I could just have looked over at the virtual flight bag, whatever that's called over here. It clearly displays that we aren't doing any manoeuvres immediately after takeoff. I mean, we are, but not that kind of manoeuvre. So we'll pop down here to the end of the runway, turn around, head back up the other way. Full power. Take off. Why are we doing this towards the airplanes? That seems like an unwise decision, but I'm not going to question. The decision has been made for me. I am the pilot of a flies aircraft. Oh, we must be near Mosul. Or the Moselle. Are we on the French side? Or technically the Luxembourgese? That is a beautiful part of the world, this.
Don't sink, don't sink.
500.
Oh, we're getting to fly a whopping... Where are we going? This way? This seems to be a massive detour. Okay, whatever. Neumarken Dawn. So yeah, that does make sense. Like we're in the Mosul area. It's sort of like very French Germany sounding. Because Neumagen is definitely German. But Dawn seems more French. This bird's supposed to get the VIP treatment. I don't know how we give an airplane the VIP treatment, but we will try. Oh, look at this though. Right, seriously, have a look at that. It's gorgeous. Oh, we must climb. And in fairness, there was an update out when I tried to launch this game. I didn't bother to read anything about it, so maybe some things have changed and maybe they haven't. Performance is honestly quite good. Like, I'm running everything quite high and it's just kind of running fine. Although running OBS is not great. It doesn't like it at all. So we're using Maliri's Action exclamation mark to stream this. But that's doing a fine job too. That's a good thing about having multiple options. You can kind of do that. Hopefully this will also pay us a bit more so we can start getting some new endorsements and whatnot in terms of flying. We have a commercial pilot, a commercial plane license, or pilot license. We don't get licenses for the planes, but we do. We just ease off it with the RPM. Don't want to overspeed or over rev the engines. Is there a way? Yes, there is a way to do this. We can probably put that here. Can we shrink it a bit, maybe? Okay. Don't press that button. It crashes the game. Don't worry, we will fix this. Yes, I know we've had a game crash. So I don't know what you guys are actually seeing now because the game crashed. It could just be black screen, could be desktop, could be anything. Who knows? It's great. So we shall load in here in the jiff of a moment, and then we shall be good to go. And here we go, game launched already. So we just have to take off and do all of that stuff again. Although that should not be a problem. I can probably change some... Technically, what do I need to bind on my joystick and on my button bits over here? Park and brake would probably be a smart thing to do. Come on. Oh, and we've got to go through this whole process. It's great. I love this. Anyway, I shall take a quick moment here to look up the changelog from Flight Sim. So an update was pushed out yesterday. Fix crashed when you selected as arrival. Fix the crash that could occur when closing and invoking camera menu after changing the drone. No. Nope. Absolutely none of that fixed the things that we just had happen, so that's great. Obviously it didn't. I just had it happen with the update installed. I'm clever, me. Definitely. And I've disabled music, so we don't get any here, we just have to make our own. Also, helicopters I really want to try fly, but I know from the previous game that they are so difficult to fly. Especially with like the joystick that I have, the Thrustmaster Hot Ass. There. And that's Paris. Generally, though, the loading times aren't too bad in this. It's just this initial launch that takes a while. Everything is streamed to you So the actual install is like 50 gigabytes. Not the end of the world in terms of that, but obviously you spend a lot of data being transmitted back and forth when you play this. Everything is streamed to you pretty much. So beware of that. It has a lot of drawbacks. Like if you lose internet, you're pretty much unable to play this. So we have a bit of a deja vu here, but it's fine. We'll be able to get off the ground. No trouble. Let's just actually look here and see what we're going to do. Going to pop down here. We're going to do a bit of a traffic pattern here. Sure, whatever. That's fine. And then we're not going to touch that thing in-game again. I've learnt my lesson now. Clear the pitot, clear our shocks. Clear that. Get in the plane and let's go flyby thing.
Okay.
Hello, it's Julia Reichert. Thanks for accepting the job. I'm your contact here. Today's lucky bird heading to Numajendran is this charming little 172 Skyhawk. The owner's aircraft was in for maintenance, and now that it's fixed, he wants it flown back. He is already waiting for it. His name's Mr. Michael Klimek. Now give this beautiful bird the VIP treatment it deserves. Take care.
And where am I supposed to drop off care?
Echo Delta Romeo Mike traffic Cessna Delta. Yankee Yankee Papa India is taxiing to runway 36.
Ooh, we can look at this. That's actually neat. I obviously shouldn't have done what I did. How do I get it to like resend on aircraft? Thank you. There we go. We know what we're doing. We are professional pilots here. I passed my commercial pilot's license. I am a professional. What I do. I'm an operator. Try and lower flaps actually, that might help us get airborne and do like plane stuff. we can't build up any airspeed. So we've got it now airborne. We're going to reach the initial climb of 1,400 feet. Then we're going to start making our banking manoeuvre here. So if the date is over there is like today, why does it appear that the fields all have like grain on them right now planted? That seems a bit odd. I guess I can't apply full logic to a game like this. Although you'd think they'd actually change foliage and that kind of stuff. Based on season, they seem to do with the trees anyway. We shall crack on here, get up to the required cruise altitude, and get all settled in before we continue. So we're now 9.7 nautical miles from Neumagen. See if we can't set it up nicely, get over here, touchdown. Oh, over engine, don't do that, we're supposed to give it the VIP treatment. Over revving isn't doing that at all. Mr. Klinken, or whatever he's called, will be very unhappy if we like over rev the engine. The bloody 1954 sports cars we were supposed to drive earlier definitely don't appreciate that. I'm not sure this plane would in any capacity either. Just get it up there just to, yeah, 2,500 RPM seems to be good. Settle in. Get over here. At least this is a bit of a longer flight as well. Not massively longer, but it is longer. And I'll take that for sure. The first flight are just too short. And it surprises me that a company like Microsoft and the Sobo, certainly Microsoft, who are like quite massive, haven't got to grips with what like game development is. Like having such a grind and that kind of like just bad way of tutorializing people is a bit disappointing to see that. Like there are ways that you can do it far better and not make it feel like such a drag. So what's going on with those fields down there? They have to be like wine fields or grape fields or whatever they're called, damn it. I'm not a real farmer, I just do it fake. Oh boy, on the computer. But this is gorgeous. The lighting, everything here is just beautiful. Flying over the Mosul. Not Mosul in like Iraq, but the Mosul River. Just delightful. And we're pretty much always here. 5 miles out, let's contact the arrival airport. I'm sure this is a massive airport.
Echo Delta Romeo Delta traffic Cessna Delta. Yankee Yankee Papa India 5 miles northeast, 2,400 feet inbound to land runway 27.
So where's the final pattern, please? Right, so we kind of go in and then we sort of do a loopy roundy bit. It's so much easier with track IR because you can just look around and like, look at things. Also, I have to be mindful not to like accidentally do some input on my rudder pedals. It's very easy for me to do, just twist my feet a bit. So at some point we reach another waypoint where we got to turn right, I would imagine, come round and then fly into the airfield. See if we can't do that properly here. It would also be preferable if we could move on to a different aircraft. Like, I don't own any of these, and you have multiple in the game. Would kind of be nice if we just picked any of those from the ones I'm allowed to fly. Okay, I was not prepared for this. What the fuck is this flight pattern? I was expecting us to land there. But okay, I mean, we should see the airfield to our left-hand side. Is it over there on the top there? I have no idea. I mean, is that a tiny little bit of a I mean, we can see what the marker is for sure. Got to come in, we got to then loop round, come in, boom, boom, boom. And I don't understand this flight path at all. It's very weird. Like, could we not just have gone in straight? I assume you can't just fly in straight just for, like, if other planes are landing or taking off, but I'm just confused because I don't understand planes. Also, are we supposed to... We're supposed to go straight and then go round. Like, these brackets are meant to be helpful, right? But they give you all of them at the same time. That's not eminently helpful to me, because you've got to be very well aware of where you are and what you're supposed to do to make use of them. We're going to just throttle down so we don't come in massively hot here. Turning. I mean, are we meant to turn this sharp and go through this one? Oh, look at the fingerprints and all of that on the screens. That is neat. I'm very confused about this flight pattern because what it says on the screen over there is not what I'm seeing here at all. We will make it work. Try and figure out the right approach here. I'm hoping that once we get here, so we're coming in and then are we landing that way? I am very confused as to how this whole thing is supposed to work. We're supposed to be paralleling. The runway should be down there, but I don't know where it is. There's like a gravel pit there for sure. But we have no other frames of reference to use for this. Also, we're supposed to just make a 90 left up here. That's great. And then another 90 left at final. So I feel like we're going to make a very sensible approach here. I'm assuming we're in the German part of the region. So it's very thought out and planned and all of that. But I'm confused. So we're approaching our final point. I think we need to make a call out there as well, and then we turn, and then we might hopefully see a runway in front of us somewhere.
500.
Just like I'm sure real pilots do, just winging it in this sense. So we don't want to be going fast here, we need to be actually ready to touch down at 100 knots. Is a bit too quick for that. Yes, we're landing, runway 27. Oh yeah, we see it there. Copy, it's just a grass field, which I really wish they made it slightly easier to see. I mean, this one isn't too bad, but I remember certainly the ones from
Echo Delta Romeo Delta traffic Cessna
Flight Sim
Delta.
20 isn't
Yankee
great.
Yankee Papa
Also, we
India
need
is
to
on final runway
take off a
27 to
lot
land.
of speed here if we are to deploy flaps. Throttle off.
500.
It wasn't smooth, they kind of forced it down. Whoa, 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 whoa. VIP treatment, VIP treatment. That's the VIP treatment. That's the VIP treatment I was asked to give it. So we turn around. Smooth as a mountain ridge. I'll admit, not my finest landing, but the plane came down on the ground. It's in one piece. I can see it now on my stream. The plane is in one piece here, so it's fine. There's nothing to complain about. There's no passengers here. I can't complain about anything. It's just me, and I didn't feel anything, therefore it was smooth. Like the office chair I'm sitting on didn't move at all. My rudder pedals may have moved somewhat, but that's by the by. We just need to bring it up here to the hold short. Also, is that a helicopter or an American fire-up lines I can see? I mean, it's an American fire-up lines. Excellent. I mean, there's one, like, tiny way you could explain that, but why would an airfield like this have an old fire-up lines? Like, it could just be old military surplus they have, but still, you know. Also, for some reason, this seems to be the same aircraft as I've flown all over the place, which is a bit odd, but hey-ho. Yes, we're announcing that we're taxiing at
Echo
this
Delta
massive
Romeo
airfield.
Delta traffic Cessna Delta. Yankee Yankee Papa India is taxiing to parking.
I'm sure the trip had its challenges, but I hope my plane didn't take too much of a beating. Thanks for your hard work.
Nah, it was smooth as butter, mate. Smooth as butter all the way. Wait, he would have been at the airport to see the landing. That might be a problem, you know. I didn't realise that until just now, that poor Michael would have been here to watch that. Landing smoothness might not be high. Yeah, no, I can see why I'm getting a 0 on that. That makes sense. Absolutely makes sense. Apparently we took a bit of a reputation hit there. But we reached level 6. Let's see what missions we have available to us. Okay, so we do one main mission, then we unlock other options to do this. Also, why am I now based up here? Oh well, it doesn't matter. Let's go down here and see what we have. We have first flight. We have... from Le Pouillout for Mr. Santoni. Position from... oh, that pays quite a bit. That pays a bit more as well. What about you? Missions list. Are we able to sort this? See which one pays us the most. We have one for 2,300 credits, 2,700. That does take an hour. We're going to Mormont, which is... where's that? Why is it constantly refreshing? That's not helpful. Oh my god, who designed this UI, you absolute twat monkeys. Oh, this is actually a different type of plane. We have to that. Can we not do anything that like gets a bit down? Oh yes, this right here. No, it's a Cessna. That's a Cessna. That's a Cessna. That's also a Robin Cadet. Is a Cadet a helicopter? Or is that a Robinson? I don't know, but we'll try and see, like... that is a tiny distance that we go. Let's try now and expand our reach. I think we do that by going out of our area. Not that one, not that one, not that one. Let's do this one. L'Arme to Mormont. I trust I pronounce all of that correctly. It can't be helicopter. We don't have the requisite mission or requisite license to fly a helicopter yet. Which I want to get, I just need to dedicate the time to it. We will have sensible runway distance, that's the main problem. Be sensible upon arrival, don't rush it down on the ground, we can always go around and try again. Just throwing it down like I just did is the worst decision I can make. I'm telling this to myself now, so I don't do it again. Hopefully. Also a different kind of plane. It's a Robin. Or Robert or Roger or whatever. So we need to only remove pitot cover. Query. Oh, that's a weird way of doing track IR integration, but okay. So we have a canopy. Neat. Ooh, look at this. It's an O-skill plane. Okay, why am I going too fast already? This is great.
Appreciate your help today, Cap. It's Catherine here. Glad it's you today, because getting this DR-400-100 cadet over to Virazile is a big deal for us.
Copy.
This aircraft's just been repaired, and the owner needs it flown back to a field near his place. Mr. Mangan, the owner, is expecting you at the destination on time. Safe travels.
Have we actually closed the canopy? I'm not sure.
Murat ground Robin Foxtrot. Golf Oscar Yankee Romeo ready to taxi north departure with Golf. Robin Foxtrot, Golf Oscar Yankee Romeo taxi to and hold short of runway tree 0 via taxiway Charlie Bravo Alpha. Contact tower on 12
Let me just make
3.2
sure.
when ready.
You know, maybe we should close the canopy. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Taxiing hold short runway tree 0 via taxiway Charlie Bravo Alpha Robin Oscar Yankee Romeo.
It's locked now, so we'll just go and taxi out to the airfield. But how neat that we get to fly in a different plane. One that doesn't have the electronic flight thingy, so this will be interesting. Old school instruments as well. Make sure we don't overspeed on taxiing. There's a lovely squeaking sound, by the way. That is the kind of detail I like. It would drive me mad in the real world, but here it doesn't. So just at a... No wind we can see. Excellent. Do we have up here? Okay, so we do have the electronic flight bag over here. It is here if we need it, but we don't. Up there, let's stay on the taxiway. Nobody saw anything. I should maybe be focused on the actual flying part here.
Murat Tower, Robin Foxtrot. Golf Oscar Yankee Romeo ready at runway tree 0 departure to the north.
Alright, a clearance should be coming. Didn't get that. But okay. We just did that telepathically. Also, ignore the weird flashing shadow there. It's perfectly okay. Maybe it'll go away once the propeller starts to speed up a bit. Give it the beans! Which instrument is RPM? Whoa. Does this have landing gear that we can retract? Or is that a cigarette lighter? Oh, no, that's a handbrake. That's not. On second thoughts, let's not pull things that we don't know what is.
Robin Oscar Yankee Romeo continue for north departure.
Oh, we can see RPM down there. Good, good. So I'm immediately liking the... Okay, we were a bit high there, but I'm immediately enjoying the analogness. Oh, we're maybe over-revving. I'm enjoying the analogness of this aircraft. Coupe, circuit, essence. That's fuel supply. It's a French plane? Are we flying a French plane in France? Sécurité démarreur. Appuie. Yes. Nuit, jour test. Éclairage 1. Éclairage 2. Radio. Éclairage planche de bord. À tenir. Roulage. Oh, it's very French. I love this. Allez les bleus. Allez les pilotes. Also, look at this. Is this not nice? We have no janky voice thingy happening. We just have the beautiful vistas here of southern heading into central France. What is not to love? Admittedly, we could be flying in that direction, so we'd be going towards the mountains, but we're not. I don't know if we're going to have rain. I need to use the actual dials down here to see what we're doing. Just managing engine revs and whatnot.
Robin Oscar Yankee Romeo leaving my airspace frequency change.
So we are supposed to go to 2,100 feet. I believe we are just below that. We are acknowledging handoff. So we have now reached cruising altitude here in a mo. I believe it's just not acknowledging that. Oh no, I'm not actually. I can see the altitude on the far bottom of my monitor. There we go. So we are now heading in a completely straight line towards Versailles. Let me just get within the marker boards here. We will try and monitor our RPM so we don't go over that. Otherwise we're just heading towards the destination airports, where we will be touching down. Do we even have any way of seeing outdoor temperature here? I feel like that is something that might be relevant to me. We have a... Hang on. We have a sucked gauge. Obviously important. Don't scroll when you're over something like that. We have a carburetor temperature. We have, I believe that's a speedometer over there, which we also have here. An altimeter. We're dropping a bit of altitude. Let's try and maintain the altitude here. Yeah, if you weren't here for the race earlier, technically the stream replay is still up there, but there's absolutely nothing to see. Had some issues coming into the driver's briefing, which meant that I had no sound, which was very frustrating to be in that situation, but really it is what it is. We can't change that. I certainly got it fixed, but not in time for me to take the start. Tried to join late, but a quirk of R-Factor 2 means that you basically can't take a setup change if you join a race already in progress, which went also to the setup that was assigned to be default, which was the factory default setup for me, which was obviously excellent. So that's just not drivable for us, so we didn't do the race. But I hung around with Chris for a bit. watched part of the race, then we both sort of went off to have some food. And now we are here. Or I am here anyway. Enjoying this Roubaix over France. I also love that the altitude I was supposed to be at is actually above the markers that we're supposed to be flying through. It is excellent. We have now actually reached the actual cruising altitude here. It's not one of the few times already in the flight, but we are certainly closing in on our destination, maintaining decent engine RPM. It is all looking quite good here. Just continued. I must be mindful not to overdo it on the landing, just not get overexcited, try and throw it down. Does that actually do anything? Did I do that? I do not believe that I just overflown an airport here. So that is certainly great. So we do seem to be drifting ever so slightly. Let's try and get back on track. That is definitely an issue with this release. So far you get weird penalties that you aren't really doing anything. But we do have, delightfully, a lake coming up here. Is this one of those artificial lakes that they have? It's definitely too far out from Paris to be to protect that, because I know they've got those in Venice, quite far out. There's a possibility that we may, and by we I mean I, may be staying near one of those on the way down to Le Mans next year. So yeah, that's neat. Or just some gullies and ditches that they have flooded to try and just basically act as flood defence for Paris. Because obviously the Seine passes right through. You don't want it to be flooding, but these clouds are pretty. That's not a great way of saying that, but you know what I meant. They just look so fluffy and very much like clouds do. I don't even believe this has any kind of autopilot. That's avionics master there. Let's leave that on. Don't need to touch any of that. Those must be fuses. Definitely don't want to touch that. We've got that magneto. That seems important. That's a throttle. Double throttle, excellent. We can't open the air vents. So engine RPM is good. We're still not doing that. I'm pretty sure we can bring up this here and yeah, I gotta say we're nowhere near an airport, so I don't know why we're getting called for that, but okay, it's fine. Those are minor penalties at the best of time. Also, can we? So I'm going to be right back here. We need to be pointed directly into the crowd here, but we're flying. Oh, we're flying off course. We can fix that, and no problem whatsoever. Let's recenter our foot here. So this definitely needs to be recentered. Thank you. So how are we with RPM? We're good. We just need to balance this in. Wouldn't mind heading over here. That seems to be very important down here. You can switch between manual and auto. We can't do it, but it's in big red, and that tells me it's important. Yeah, we are closing in here. We seem to be having some significant drifting happening. Is that because I was doing stuff to the rudder pedals again? Could be. Or is it wind that's affecting us right now? Could also be that. But we're definitely having to do a bit more manipulation. Because it doesn't help that I just walked away for a bit. Has to be said, that doesn't help. Yeah, I suspect it may be wind that's affecting that right here. It's definitely getting a bit more feisty here. We're dropping a bit in altitude as well. We need to correct this. Bring it up a bit. Let's see if it starts to throw us about again here, but yeah, it's okay-ish. We seem to be drifting slightly once more, but I did reset my pedals here. Just lifting the feet off, getting back down. Also, are we flying towards rain? Or is that just haze? We shall find out in a moment. At any rate, this is absolutely gorgeous. That is a major farm down there. Proper big farm down there with a bit of a dam next to it as well, which is neat. Let's just get back on line here, shall we? Do we actually have right now a fuel gauge? I'm not sure we do. I'm just going to pretend we're not going to need one. Oh, look at that, you can see the ailerons working as well, it's neat. No seat belts. We don't need them. Can we actually put it on even if we wanted to? No, we can't. So we're just forced to be criminals. I don't even believe that we're going to fly anywhere near any major towns. Map settings here, maps. It does not immediately appear that we're flying over. Oh, we do appear to maybe be approaching in. Oh, there's just some boundaries. Whoa, hello, hello. Let's fly this way. Let us recenter to aircraft and hide that and focus on flying it, because looking away doesn't seem to do any good for me. Look at that effect on the cockpit, or the canopy, as it's called. We saw that. It's a canopy. It's lovely, absolutely lovely. So there is. Let's just quickly do some settings here, because there is the headphone simulation. That's neat. It's very neat. Oh wow, so this is what you would hear if you were flying. It's just really quiet. You can like hear it make sense, you know, like you're wearing some good proper ear defenders. It's unfortunately for this it doesn't kind of work that well. But I'm not trying to protect my hearing, which a real pilot would be. Whoopsie daisy, dropping altitude. Let's not do that. So you're getting a bit of a lovely little bit of a lake down there. Multiple lakes actually. What's that? What's that over there? Is that rain or cloud or smoke? Tornado? Could be a French tornado. So we have dropped a lot of altitude here just from being distracted. Let's not do that. After this we may try and unlock more types of missions that we can do. Presumably they will also help to earn me more money. But let's try and get a decent landing at the end of this. We still have about 40 miles to go. But it is nice to have a longer flight here, even if it is just a straight line. I guess you can kind of do that with VFR stuff when it's this fairly flat and open terrain. Yeah, what is that over there? It looks weird. Could just be some low-hanging cloud by the looks of things. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Let's look after the aircraft and not smash it to bits, shall we? Just fly here. That's definitely rain ahead as well. Yeah, that is definitely a wall of rain that we're flying towards. Over the beautiful rolling French landscape. Of road with traffic on it. Lovely. Absolutely lovely. Let's just have a bit of like a general overview of where we are over France. Okay, that was a bit more than that. So yeah, we're moving up towards, I don't even know what's up there. I feel like Bordeaux is more down here-ish. Oh, we're banking. We are banking, we're keeping it good now though. Let's focus. Yeah, that is either cloud or rain in front of us. So things might get a bit more hairy, and it's already not the smoothest. Just try and move some things. Just touching into the clouds. Yeah, this should already start to feel, if we were on the ground, significantly more different to the parts of France we flew in, not yesterday, but the other day. Just with a landscape. So we appear to have dropped a lot of altitude. balancing the throttle here so we don't over rev, but we also don't want to be too far down. Just bring it back up here in terms of altitude if we can. Yeah, we will have been moving out of the more sort of slightly more Spanish-seeming and sounding areas of France down near the border with Andorra and Catalonia, Spain. Especially near the southern border there, you get some towns that sound very Spanish, and the architecture also looks distinct from the Alps and other parts of the southern France. We would definitely be noticing that now. The architecture over in the Alps is a bit more bastant, a bit more like solid concrete houses and all of that stuff, whereas down in this area it's far more what I would call Mediterranean and like sort of more older school. I like it a bit more. Although obviously in the Alps, oh look at that lovely little quaint village there. Next to a river. It's gorgeous this. Absolutely gorgeous. Just be sure we don't lose that a bit. Oopsie daisy, let's look over here instead and try and now climb. Maintain heading. All seems to be going well. We should be over halfway to the destination of Virasai. Maybe. I am not pronouncing that correctly, pretty much guarantee you it, but we said it. There's a big river. Which river would that be? Got to look that up. Virasai. I can find that on maps. It's just outside Mormont. Okay, close that down here now. Go away, I don't need to find a location, we just need to go. It would be this river here. Oopsie daisy. It is the Lilo River that we can see. Excellent. Oh, there's a little mountain motocross track down there. Neat. The thing you see from the sky. We do keep getting blown slightly out of course. One question that I have about this mode is don't press buttons. We've tried doing that before and we know that you can crash the game. Actually, pause. Can we? There does not appear to be like a save function, which would be nice. If it crashed now, I'd have to do it all over again. know, that's nice to have a CO2 monitor. Wouldn't want to die of that. That's a pilot. Also, that's some significant land clearance going on down here. It's a bit not great. But you know, like the WRZ goes to like Chile, where it's like deforestation, the rally. So you know, it's not the worst. We are crossing over the Low River. Oh, and we may be crossing over the auto road as well. Or just a large road. Not out of the river, just before it. There's a long straight road. Could just be one of the route nationales, but could also be l'autoroute. Yeah, it definitely looks like a motorway for sure. Yeah, it's a definite water route. Then we have a bit of a canal. And then we have the river coming up Minimo. And it's a bit more of a hilly terrain up ahead. Lovely. We are now 20 miles from our destination. We are now approaching steadily here. We are below 20 miles to Versailles. We may want to just start here, bring up the tablet and zoom in here now and try and start to see maybe just where was the map settings. Zoom in here now, trying to just get the route here, just to see what kind of manoeuvres we are expected to be doing here towards the end. So we come in here, TRDB2, and we do loop around and then boom, 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 boom. Why are we doing that every time? That is such a weird entry. I guess like you fly over and then you enter this pattern so you get like a visual reference for the runway, and then you enter your final mode right there and you do your call outs and whatnot. That way everybody knows what's going on. That could just be standard protocol for landing. And I'm the weird one for not understanding that, but I am a bit of a weird boy. After this we could potentially try some flight training for rotary wing aircraft. That could be fun. It does require a lot of learning and I'm not sure I can do it with my current rudder pedals. You need to be basically tapping your head, rubbing your belly and like doing something else as well at the same time. Because like increasing the collective on a helicopter means you need to put in more thingy with the feet, more rudder thingy, and you need to be doing more sticky thing. It's complicated is what I'm trying to say, and we need to try and master that. For my money, helicopters are like the more interesting thing to fly. You're closer to the ground, interacting a bit more with it, and it doesn't want to fly. That is the interesting part of helicopters. They do not want to fly. They're not a stable platform. If you just increase the power or decrease the power, like I could do here, the plane will kind of just continue and gradually lose altitude. The helicopter will just fall to the ground. They're also very difficult to fly. I tried it in the previous game, but I just was never able to do it properly, although in fairness I didn't dedicate enough time to it. It also doesn't feel like my current flight stick is any good with that. And like the rudder pedals aren't either. It certainly cleared right up. We must have just gone through the bottom end of a cloud. Following the river pretty much until we arrive, or possibly, kinda sorta. Obviously being 10 miles away means we're definitely closing in. I noticed that the fields have all gone like massively green over here. That might just be a satellite imagery thing more than anything else. I mean, I guess, you know, like, geologically it could change, and you're planting different things, and like, it's theoretically supposed to be the same month, so it should not change dramatically. Yeah, let's just bring it up here, refamiliarise ourselves with the approach pattern. We are gonna come into TRDP2. Oh, we're coming in here. Boom, 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 boom. No, we do 2, 3, 1. Which is obviously what you would do, isn't it? About 5 miles out. We should be starting to make our course out in a couple of miles' time. Oops, daisy. It's definitely getting a bit more bumpy in the sky. We've got sky bumps. Yeah, there we are. We've just started to be on the final approach pattern here. Yeah, we'll contact arrival airport, announce position via air traffic controller.
Lima Foxtrot, Delta Mike, traffic Robin Foxtrot. Golf Oscar, Yankee Romeo, 5 miles southeast, 2,000 feet inbound to land runway 29er left.
Apparently we're not getting any feedback from air traffic control. I'm not sure we're going to bother with the whole complex pattern thingy here. Oh no, they're loading in here. Try and just follow this pattern in here. It's a larger airport though, so yeah, I don't think we're doing the whole complicated pattern thingy here. Also, what we're doing in terms of airspeed, we're quite far down. Approaching final here. I don't know why we have to do it like a 90-degree banking right here. That seems really not conductive to a good landing approach here, because you have to all of a sudden realign. You could have taken a perfectly straight line in, but there must be a reason. I just don't know it. Announce final, underway 29 or 29 on the left. Let's see, whoops.
Lima Foxtrot, Delta Mike, traffic Robin Foxtrot. Golf Oscar, Yankee Romeo is on final runway, 29er left to land.
this is where we're actually going to get tested. If we actually can get it on the ground properly without having the screen to guide us. That was smooth as butter. Smooth as butter. I am well pleased with that landing. I nailed that, motherfuckers. That was... no wind. Excellent. Beautiful landing. We are on the ground. We'll just get up here to the hold short point. And then the owner will be very happy we did not dance on the nose wheel at all here. It was just a nice textbook solid landing, and I didn't even have the little screen thingy to guide me with the runway. That was good. And how delightful to not have the stupid AI voices all the way. We hold short. And announce our taxi to...
Lima Foxtrot,
Parkway.
Delta Mike, traffic Robin Foxtrot. Golf Oscar Yankee Romeo is taxiing to parking.
Okay, we are doing some... Okay, we're going around the building to the back. Parking back there. Okay, that's fine. What is this taxiway? Jesus Christ. Could we not just have gone down and then made a right? Did we need to do that? It's fine. It's Aero Club de Gascogne. Which apparently has grand caravans and whatnot. It's great. Can we actually get around this? Let's just slow down. There's actually room to maneuver here. This is a bit tight. Also, that man's facing through a plane. Oh my word. Okay. This is authentic French experience for driving. There are just cars parked in random places. Nobody's doing anything sensibly. But it seems to work.
I know repositioning flights are not always easy missions, but you did a solid job and I appreciate it.
You are welcome. Man, that is definitely not an AI voice. Mission success! And I'm not George W. Bush, so I'm not announcing that too early. How was that not a better smoothness? That was buttery smooth. Yeah, we made a decent amount of money here. Also, what is that commission? Absolutely get fucked. Our reputation went up. We need to keep it going up. We have leveled up here. We have unlocked a new specialization. Skydive, flight seeing. What kind of aircraft? Grand Caravan. Skyhawk, flight seeing. Apparently we can do stuff like that. Okay, fine. I suppose technically... Oh no, that's people. We don't want that. So level 10, perform airplane missions with the landing smoothness above 50. Score airplane missions with C or above. Aircraft rescue. Cargo transport medium. See, that is kind of what we want to do. Extended attack. Yeah, that's definitely where we want to go. and get... Ooh, yeah, we also want that for sure. Rotorcraft, what can we do here? You kind of need to get that license. Down here, search and rescue, hoist, cargo transport, hook, ag, area construction. We can't do any firefighting here. Somewhat disappointing. Anyway, certifications. To pass, we now have 5,000 credits. Is there anything that we can actually do? We can do tail wheel. Is backcountry flying and short takeoff landing. Towards copy. And higher performance engine, multi-engine, instrument, night currency. Those would like be really useful to have. But yeah, we could also get some jet. That's very expensive. Some airline pilot training license for that. Scuba endorsement is down that route, so yeah, you got to branch out. Let's try do this, shall we? See if we can't get to know our aircraft and get a feel for what helicoptering is like.
Welcome to the beginning of your rotorcraft journey and our first helicopter lesson. My name is Paul Martin, and I will be your flight instructor. I must say, it is a very beautiful time of the year to begin your helicopter trainings at Grenoble-Le-Versoud Aerodrome. Meet our trainer helicopter, Cabri G2. You already know how the flight control surfaces of airplanes work, right? But do you understand how a helicopter turns without ailerons and speeds up without elevator? Here, look at the Cabri's main rotor. This is our main control surface. By tilting the main rotor disc forward, backward, left, or right, we can change the direction of the thrust vector and move the helicopter in the chosen direction. As with most French-designed helicopters, the main rotor blades advance in a clockwise direction. What do you think we need the tail rotor for? Walk closer and look at it. By changing the tail rotor's thrust, we can control the direction that the nose of the helicopter points. The Cabri G2 utilizes a fenestrine-type tail rotor. It differs from a conventional open-tail rotor by being integrally housed within the tail boom. Now let's continue our training inside the cockpit. Get in and buckle up.
Oh, we're sitting on this side of the air.
Don't be surprised that you're sitting on the right side. Unlike in airplanes, pilots typically sit on the right seat in helicopters. Now, let's make you familiar with the Cabri's flight controls. Look here, this is what we call the collective lever, or simply collective. We use collective to climb or descend, or in other words, to control our vertical speed. Here's what we call the cyclic stick, or just cyclic. It looks similar to the airplane's stick, doesn't it? It behaves very similarly too, at least in a forward flight. Left or right inputs cause the helicopter to roll into a turn, and forward and back inputs change the pitch attitude. On the top of the cyclic stick, you can see a cyclic trim knob. The Cabri uses a dual-axis electric trim, allows you to completely release the static forces in flight, both longitudinal and lateral. And finally, the anti-torque pedals, located in the same place as the rudder pedals in an airplane. They serve a similar purpose, controlling the direction that the nose of the aircraft points. In a hover flight, they help you to control yaw and heading, but in forward flight, they serve the same purpose as in airplanes, adjusting the side slip angle. Sounds pretty easy so far, isn't it? Let's have a look at the instrument panel. I am sure you have already spotted what we call the six-pack. 6 primary instruments all airplanes also have. Look at the altimeter, for instance. As you see, the ground elevation here is around 720 feet. An interesting fact related to altitudes. In forward flight, a helicopter can fly much higher than when it's hovering. After our hovering training, you will understand why it's like that. Now look at the airspeed indicator. What can we learn just by looking at it? You can see right away that the indications start from 20 knots. The caution range lasts up to 45 knots, and you should never exceed 130 knots airspeed. Why should we be cautious when flying slow? I will show why in our next training. Now, would you please look at the vertical speed indicator? It is very important to monitor VSI, especially on descent. If you descend faster than 300 feet per minute at low airspeed, you may settle your helicopter into its own downwash. This is called a vortex ring state, and it is an emergency situation you will eventually learn to deal with. But for now, simply get used to monitoring your VSI, just like you monitor altitude, airspeed, and engine parameters. Another thing to remember while flying is to keep the fuselage in the correct streamline position. For that, we monitor the turn coordinator ball, just like we do in airplanes. Or the more sensitive indicator, the yaw string, just like we do in gliders. The ball and the yaw string should be kept in the center. We won't use other classic instruments much in our trainings, because we will mostly fly by visual references. However, you do need to know about the EPM, which stands for Electronic Pilot Monitor. Let's start the engine and avionics to see it running.
Am I supposed to do things by myself here, or...?
Wait, we didn't finish our ground training yet.
You told me to fire up the aircraft, you dickhead.
Great. Now you see the electronic pilot monitor running. I understand you want to fly, but believe me, you need to know some theory first. Let's start over again. Welcome aboard. Don't be surprised that you're sitting on the right side. Unlike in airplanes, pilots typically sit on the right seat in helicopters. Now, let's make you familiar with the Cabry's flight controls.
Where are we starting over?
Look here, this is what we call the collective lever, or simply collective. We use collective to climb or descend, or in other words, to control our vertical speed. Here's what we call the cyclic stick, or just cyclic. It looks similar to the airplane's stick, doesn't it? It behaves very similarly too, at least in a forward flight. Left or right inputs cause the helicopter to roll into a turn.
Why were you
and forward
repeating
and back
everything
inputs
right
change
now?
the pitch attitude. On the top of the cyclic stick, you can see a cyclic trim knob.
You're a
The
cyclic
Cabry
trim
uses
knob.
a dual-axis electric trim. Allows you to completely release the static forces in flight, both longitudinal and lateral. And finally, the anti-torque pedals, located in the same place as the rudder pedals in an airplane. They serve a similar purpose, controlling the direction that the nose of the aircraft points. In a hover flight, they help you to control yaw and heading. But in forward flight, they serve the same purpose as in airplanes, adjusting the side slip angle. Sounds pretty easy so far, isn't it? Let's have a look at the instrument panel. I am sure you have already spotted what we call the six-pack. 6 primary instruments all airplanes also have. Look at the altimeter, for instance. As you see, the ground elevation here is around 720 feet. An interesting fact related to altitudes. In forward flight, a helicopter can fly much higher than when it's hovering. After our hovering training, you will understand why it's like that. Now look at the airspeed indicator. What can we learn just by looking at it? You can see right away that the indications start from 20 knots. The caution range lasts up to 45 knots, and you should never exceed 130 knots airspeed. Why should we be cautious when flying slow? I will show why in our next training. Now, would you please look at the vertical speed indicator? It is very important to monitor VSI, especially on descent. If you descend faster than 300 feet per minute at low airspeed, you may settle your helicopter into its own downwash. This is called a vortex ring state, and it is an emergency situation you will eventually learn to deal with. But for now, simply get used to monitoring your VSI, just like you monitor altitude, airspeed, and engine parameters. Another thing to remember while flying is to keep the fuselage in the correct streamline position.
He can't pronounce fuselage.
For that, we monitor the turn coordinator ball, just like we do in airplanes. Or the more sensitive indicator, the yaw string, just like we do in gliders. The ball and the yaw string should be kept in the center. We won't use other classic instruments much in our trainings, because we will mostly fly by visual references. However, you do need to know about the EPM, which stands for Electronic Pilot Monitor. Let's start the engine and avionics to see it running.
Now, if I do this again, will it just, like, restart the whole thing? Whee! They're rotating.
Great! Now you see the electronic pilot monitor running.
I'm looking at it, mate. Well, that's gone great, hasn't it? It's fucking broken. Oh dear. Maybe we should actually do the mission that is about that, rather than do it not in a training mission that's supposed to be about flying. Just me having thoughts, you know. There are missions that teach us about that. Basic maneuvers. Let's try that one. Straight and level flight, make a couple of turns. Are we sure we don't want to start off with, like, just learning to hover? I mean, I'm not an instructor, so I'm not to question. Just seems like a better place to start. Although I suppose actually doing it in motion is better as well. But I don't know.
Here we are, flying along the Grezavon Valley in the French Alps. Look around while I am piloting. On your left-hand side, you can see the Belladon mountain range. And on your right-hand side, there are the Chartreuse Mountains.
Yes, they have been seen. Can I now go ahead to skip? Or is this also decided to break? Has this not been designed like intending people to use track IR? Is that why we're not working here? Because this is exactly what happened with the previous mission. Yeah, I legit don't think this is meant to work with track IR.
Beautiful, aren't they?
I was supposed to use that. Of course, why? Yeah, I've got track IR. Why would I actually use that?
I will give you control of the helicopter. Prepare to slightly push cyclic forward to maintain the correct attitude. 3, 2, 1. It's yours now.
Why is it like...
Using the cyclic, keep the
Why is it
helicopter
just
in
going for
straight and
keyboard?
level flight along the Iser River you can see below. I will take care of the collective control and maintaining the altitude, so you can focus on our speed and ground track. Reach cruise speed of 80 knots. Push the cyclic to speed up, or pull the cyclic to slow down.
We're like going way above that. No, we have control. Good.
Now try to maintain 80 knots through all maneuvers. To maintain the same speed, try to remember the position of the horizon line and maintain it visually in the same place. That will make sure you are flying with the same speed. Keep flying straight until the river begins curving to the right. See how you always need to keep the cyclic deflected to maintain the same attitude? After you've found a proper cyclic position, use the cyclic's trim to release static forces. Here we are. Let's try some turns now. You see the river is turning right? Try to fly above the river and turn right together with its curve. There you are. Now make a sharp left turn following the river line. But this time try to make the turn coordinated. Don't forget to use pedals to avoid any slip and skid, just like in airplanes. Now you see how little pressure on the controls you need to control a helicopter. Let's do something you never do in airplanes. Let's bring our airspeed to 0 knots. Gently pull the cyclic back until you reach 0 knots. This is called hovering out of ground effect. Feels interesting for airplane pilots, doesn't it? Keep the cyclic back to maintain 0 knots airspeed. Now try to use your trim to move the neutral position of your cyclic. You can trim the helicopter when you hover, when you climb, or when you are in cruise. This releases the forces on the stick and lets you better feel the controls.
need to check that on the controller. I don't think that's bound. Controls, flight control, surfaces, joystick. Flight control services secondary, maybe. Let's try that and see if that is any better.
Nice. But just when you thought flying helicopters is all easy, I want to admit that currently I'm helping you stabilize our helicopter. You see, since we slowed down, the airflow over the tail is not enough to counteract the helicopter's rotating tendencies anymore. So I keep pushing the right pedal and adjusting our cyclic a little to stabilize our flight. Let me show you what happens when I stop helping you. Okay, I am assisting you again. Don't let these rotating tendencies scare you.
I did not feel a thing there.
You will master it in no time during our next trainings. As for our today's lesson, I believe a little more practice with maintaining the correct speed would do you good. I would even recommend reviewing your old airplane trainings related to attitude and turns.
So we survived that one without doing damage. So let's try and see if we can't take off and hover.
Welcome to our first hovering lesson. To hover in ground effect means to maintain a constant position a few feet above the ground. It is not as easy as it sounds. In fact, hovering a helicopter is challenging. A bit like trying to pat your head and rub your stomach at the same time. A helicopter has 3 highly sensitive controls, but at first I will be giving you only one control at a time to handle. Your first control to master will be the collective lever. Remember, it is located on the left side of your seat. The collective controls your height above the ground. We will use it to take off to a hover. When you raise the collective control, the pitch angles of the main rotor blades increase. This increases lift, and the helicopter climbs.
Doesn't work
Lower
right
the
now.
collective,
Right.
pitch angles decrease. This decreases lift, so the helicopter descends. Easy, right? Another thing we will need today is the EPM, which stands for Electronic Pilot Monitor. You might remember it from our previous lesson. Today you will learn monitoring power percentage with a multiple limit indicator.
Okay.
The most important thing to remember about power indications is to never go over 100%. You can read more about that subject in the briefing notes. Okay, enough lecturing. Time to fly. Before taking off, always check that all gauges are green and that we have enough fuel. As you can see, The tank is half full. This is more than enough for our training. Now look left and right to make sure we don't have people or vehicles approaching. All good, and we are clear to go. You have collective control now. Slowly raise it to the point where we become light on skids. This will be around 65% of available power. Be careful. First, you won't see any reaction to your movement, but power will catch up soon. Now move the collective just a little more to get to 2 feet altitude hover. And don't mind us moving laterally. Today I will take care of that. There you are. Keep hovering at 2 feet now. You see, since we are hovering so low, the altimeter will be not useful. Judge your altitude just by looking outside. 2 feet is approximately 1/3 of the length of the Cabri skid. You are higher than 2 feet now. Lower collective a bit to descend. You are higher than 8 feet now. Lower the collective a little to descend. You are higher than 2 feet now. Lower collective a bit to descend. You are higher than 8 feet now.
It's too much
Lower the collective a
resistance
little
in,
to descend. You are higher than 8 feet now. Lower the collective a little to descend. You are higher than 2 feet now. Lower collective a bit to descend.
This is... Ooh.
Remember, the main trick of the hovering challenge is to move the controls as gently as possible. There you are. Keep hovering at 2 feet now. When you find a proper collective position, you don't need to keep adjusting it, given that we are not moving and there is no wind like today. Look around and memorize how 2 feet of altitude looks. You see, since we are hovering so low, the altimeter will be not useful. Judge your altitude just by looking outside. Also, look at the power indications and memorize the number. 2 feet is approximately 1/3 of the length of the Cabri skid. This is the amount of power required for hovering and ground effect, and it depends on lots of factors such as our weight and the weather. But you may find it useful to remember this number for our training today. Now let's see how little you should increase power to hover at 8 feet altitude.
Did that.
Great! You are getting more and more confident with collective control. Keep hovering at 8 feet while I am talking. Gently raise the collective just enough to get to 8 feet altitude and stop there. Look around and try to remember how 8 feet altitude looks like. It is an important altitude. You should avoid climbing higher when you hover in ground proximity. We will talk about it more in our later trainings, but for now, just remember, if your engine quits when you are higher than 8 feet and you don't have enough airspeed, you won't be able to land safely. So whenever you hover stationary in ground proximity or hover taxi, stay below 8 feet and you will be safe. Now let's go back to a 2-foot hover. Still remember which power indications to aim for? There you are. I can see that now you understand sensitivity and inertia of the collective lever much better. Our last objective for this training session is landing from a hover. Remember to always stabilize your hover at 2 feet altitude before touching the ground. Now, very gently lower the collective control until you find yourself firmly on the ground. Remember to always stabilize your hover at 2 feet altitude before touching the ground. Congratulations! You just did your first landing from a hover. You mastered collective and hovering flight pretty well. Time to start mastering anti-torque pedals now.
That went okay. You just have to be really careful on it. Let's not do any more of that right now. How much does that cost, by the way? So we would, in theory, have enough money to do it, but we don't have the skills yet. Can we actually fly in a... Yes, thank you. I can do second difficulty job. Excellent. Because I did my certification over here, can I do... No, we can't. Unfortunately, we can't fly over here, which is disappointing, obviously. Would be nice if we had the option to do that, but hey ho, we can't move our base. So let's try and get a quick job in here with parachutists. So we'll try it here, do a bit of a skydive. Let me just log in my little thingy again together here. Oh dear, look at all these bastards. Oh wow, smooth.
All right, folks, let's get this party started.
Okay.
5-on-5 ECFRB. Everybody make your way onto the aircraft. Same exit order we discussed back at the clubhouse, okay?
Such natural walking style right there.
Pilot, let's give a round of applause to our two candidates for this jump. Treat them extra special, please. Let's go. All right, let's make this a jump to remember. I want to see smiles on those rock star faces when we're back here.
I already hate her.
Lima Echo Alpha Papa Traffic Cessna, Echo Charlie. Foxtrot Romeo Victor is taxiing to runway 35.
Is everyone ready to go? Love it. So, important reminder. We're here to have fun, but your security is our priority, so listen to what I say at all times. Last check, buckle up, helmet, eye shield, altimeter. You confirm? Great.
This is horrible. It's absolutely dreadful.
Lima Echo Alpha Papa Traffic Cessna, Echo Charlie. Foxtrot Romeo Victor taking off runway 35 departure to the north.
This is one of those U-turn things. Yeah. Even though we're heading north, we said we'd be departing to the north, and we're not. Well, it's a bit louder because we have the door open. Obviously, that makes sense, yeah. We've got to jump out somehow.
Hey, Solo 70 CFRV. I've uploaded relevant data onto your map. Quick update anyway. Your drop axis today is into the wind, heading 0 degrees true. Current on-site speed is 0 knots. Check your map regularly so you can adjust your flight. I'm keeping tabs and everything from my end. Time to soar now. See you in a few minutes, guys.
That's what Microsoft think those people sound like.
Hey, Solo 70 CFRV. I've uploaded relevant data onto your map. Quick update anyway. Your drop axis today is into the wind, heading 5 degrees true. Current on-site speed is 0 knots. Check your map regularly so you can adjust your flight. I'm keeping tabs and everything from my end. Time to soar now. See you in a few minutes, guys.
Are you going to repeat that in a moment again? Or have you said that as many times as you want to tell me yet? You know, I can see why they have the headphone thingy support now where you can mute the sounds, because that is pretty loud, the like of a door. Kind of makes a big difference to airplanes.
Alright people, I'm your jump master. Everyone calls me TT. Few reminders.
What the
You're
fuck?
high enough, guys. Unfasten your seatbelt. As I explained on the ground, you need to be able to jump if anything goes wrong. Green light is at 10,000 feet. You take the leap from the aircraft and free fall for 60 seconds before deploying the parachute.
So we need to make some pretty significant climbing here. If we are ever going to get to 10,000 feet.
That's freaking awesome. Slaloming through the clouds like an amaze. I mean, that's freedom, dude.
That's freedom, dude. No point adding in like a comma or anything. That's freedom, dude. It's the dudes that are free, not like the feeling. Excellent, love it. Why are you creeping over my shoulder, bro? No, don't look at me. It's Titty.
Speak up now if you have anything to say.
Shut up.
Shaking like a leaf.
Shake it like a Polaroid picture. Shake it. Shush, 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 shake it. Well, we're getting there slowly. We're going to 10,000 feet. We're just about approaching 2,000 feet. Getting up there.
Gonna be super cold now. No, don't worry, it's not that chilly out there.
Are you talking to yourself, darling? You good, Herbie? I have a strong feeling Anna's talking to herself. I think.
Yet, book this jump with us. From here, Costello de Embrace is a real treat for the eyes. Would have been a shame missing this spot.
What happens if we lower flaps? Can we like climb more aggressively? No, we can't.
Can we grab a quick drink before we jump?
You'll have to wait until we get back down now. It's just to make sure you focus on enjoying the jump and nothing else.
I think I like climbed my like suggested climb rate. So we should continue to do so and get to the altitude we need to be.
I love that part, the anticipation, the adrenaline. Hope I remember to pull the cord.
Don't worry, our gear comes with a safety device. Even if you forget to pull the cord, your reserve parachute will open.
I don't think you should be doing this if you have those thoughts, my dear. That just sounds like a very dangerous situation you're putting yourself in.
Ready to roll? Hope so.
I don't have a choice now.
Correct, you're going out of this plane when we get up there. If you don't, I will make sure you jump anyway. I'll shove you. How about that? Oh, that will be a good mod add-on. Forces stupid AI voice people to just throw them out of the plane. That'd be great. Nearly halfway in terms of altitude. half altitude of the jump. We'll whip it around up here at the end of this pattern and fly back and continue to climb. You know what? We're gonna skip ahead. Because that is the most monotonous flying you could ever do.
Jump. Claim your prize, folks. Go.
I mean, his head's slipping through the plane.
Time to say goodbye, Temple. See you back at the ranch.
Solo 7 ECFRV divers away.
Legendary run, guys. Now, time for the debrief.
I have no idea if you're supposed to actually follow those. Whoa, what's the trim on that sucker? I guess like the trim just changed because a lot of weight just went out of the plane. That makes sense. These are the things you have to think about when you're flying and doing stuff like this. So we'll try and get down. We're 6 miles away, so we should be there fairly quickly. I just couldn't be bothered to actually follow that flight path. It's just way too gentle. We probably need to start being a bit more slow here. There is still water out there on the sea today.
Echo Alpha Papa Traffic Cessna, Echo Charlie. Foxtrot Romeo Victor is on final runway, tree 5 to land.
Optimize your rotation. We're losing too much time.
We followed your flight path, brother.
not bad, Cap. Come see me, and I'll show you how to improve your game.
We completed that, and we got a bit of money, and that's about it. I can say here, it's not like I will be doing that much more, to be honest. But we leveled up, like, wow, okay, neat. So we can do all of those. We are, well, with that, we need to perform landing smoothness above 50, so one more there. We can start doing light cargo transport. So we've got a few different ones. That one just isn't loading in for some reason. Which one is Draco X? Let's go see that here to wrap it all up with. If there is a way to see that. There is, brain. Come on, it's in free flight. You select your airplane in here. We're not taking you. No. How old is that plane? Oh, landing surface snow, so we're definitely not taking that. We've got a DC-3. This is not called like Diablo or something like that. We can land on water, which we're not going to do. Oh, it's that tiny little thing. Okay, copy. Yeah, I guess like bigger planes is sort of, yeah. Anyway, we'll wrap that up here. Thank you for tuning in. I'll be back at some point with more stuff done away.